Hello, thank you for joining RasPipKr tutorials. I'm Martin Parker, and in this Python tutorial I'm going to talk to you about the built-in module in your Python called OS. I'm going to bring up my Python IDLE show. I'm going to make it full screen because there's going to be quite a bit of information going on screen. So first of all, you need to import OS, so there we go. There is a help for the OS and it will return with over 2,000 lines of information on how to use the functions, but I'm not going to go through it. But you can narrow it down if you want to look at a specific function. So if I go for the get current working directory function, it will print to screen what it does and how to use it if that information is available. If you want to see what functions are built into the OS library, I can press help OS and it will give you a list of all the functions. I'm going to go through some of these. I'm going to use the access to check if a file is read, write or executable. I'm going to do the change directory. I'm going to change mode, so you can change the to be executable. I'm going to use the get current working directory, and I'm also going to use the list directory as part of this video. As you can see, there's plenty of video functions, so there may be another video in the future for more functions. I'm just going to get rid of this window and bring up a new window just to make it look a bit cleaner. Just put it about halfway and bring up a terminal window and put that into the other half. In a terminal, I'm going to use a CD for change directory into my tutorial folder, and if I do the ls command to list the files, you can see that nothing's printed, so that means there's nothing in there. So back into my fresh Python shell, I'm going to import OS again because I'll need to. So that's there now, and if I do the os.get C for current, W for working, D for directory, and don't forget the brackets because it is a function, you don't need to pass anything into it, and it returns a string of your current working directory. I can save that as a variable if I wish as part of my Python code, but you can use that. I want to change to go into my tutorial to match up with my terminal window, so I'm going to use the os.ch for change, dir for directory, and in the brackets it's asking for a path. You can do the full path and it needs to be as a string, so you can do the / home etc pi, but as we are already in there, I can just pass in the folder directory that I want to go into, and to prove that we're in there, .cwd, there we go. There is a function that we're going to go with, list dir, and it will print out a list of all the files that are in there, but as we know there's nothing in there, it's come as an empty list. So there again, you can use that and store that as a variable if you wish. I'm going to create a file. I'm going to use the hash bang user bin Python3. I'm going to import the time. I'm going to import the time module. I'm going to print to the screen the current time and date is, and then on the next line I'm going to print the time modules function current time, and that's it. Straightforward little Python script. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this into my tutorial folder. I'm going to call this current time and date. ctd, and there we go. So that's now saved. I don't need it, so we'll just minimize that. And now if I do that same function again, os.list dir, it's now given us a list with the Python file that I've just put in there. Same on the terminal window. If I do the ls, there's the file. Notice that the writing is in white colour. If I use the ls-l, it will give us the function, the permissions for that file. I've just highlighted the area for the owner, so it means it's readable by having the R there. It's writable because there's a W, but that dash means there is. If there was an X there, it would mean that it's executable, and a telltale sign that something is executable would be that the writing is in a green colour. So there we go. But in Python, we can check in our script to see if something has them attributes. So I'm going to use the function os.access and pass in the path. Like I say, you can use the full path, but I'm already in that folder, so I don't need to. And then I'm going to use the os.r_ok, all in capitals in that bit, and then it's going to return as a boolean. The OS, check if it is readable, and it's telling you it's going to give you a boolean, and it's come back as true, because we do have the R there for us being the owner. If I bring that line down and change that to a capital W to check if it is writable, it's come back as true because it has that permission for me. And if I bring that and change that to the W to the X, check if it's executable, it's returned false because it doesn't have that X in the permissions via the terminal window. So if I try and run this, normally when you're doing something that is executable, you would put the ./ and then the file name .py, and it's saying it's permission denied. But if I do Python3 and then the file name, it's run the code. You can do it with the ./ as well, but it doesn't really matter. But to make it executable, you can do it all in terminal, but if you want to do it via Python, use the os.change mode, and then you put the path or the file ctd.py, and then you need to put the mode that you want to set it for. Normally when you're doing something over in the terminal, you could do the chmod plus x and then the file name, so cdt.py, press enter on that, and then you have the permission. But via Python, you can do it by entering the code to make it executable, like so. That's accepted it, and now when I do the ls-l, you can see that it's got the green writing, so it is executable, but we've lost the ability to read, so we need to change that to be readable again. So to make it executable and readable, you need to actually make it work. So the way that I did it in this line doesn't do it, because if I try and run it now, it won't work. So if I come over here, I scroll up, see, permission denied, even though it is executable. So to get around it, you need to import another library called stat, and then when I use the os dot change mode function, you would use the stat dot s underscore I, these are capitals, read, write, executable for the user, and then close that off with the bracket. And now this file is, when I scroll up, executable. Although I did do the Python3, then the file name, if I do the ls-l, we have the permissions for read, write and execute. Nobody else has it, but we're not bothered about them because it's only me, the owner, that's going to run it. So now if I do the /ctd.py, that is now working. So there we go. They are some functions of the OS built-in library. Please like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.